Actionable items in social media. The overriding question for everyone in business and social media is how can I use this for my business to help profits, to gain customers, to increase brand. So the end game today, it's a entire business focus. So when you leave here, you will find out how to leverage the power of social media for customers in your community, with clients, back to your cubicle, your department, or your entire company.
Well, basically what my speech was about today was talking about the digital distance we're creating between ourselves and our customers. So, I grew up meeting customers face to face, having dinner with them, getting to know them and their families, and those days are behind us now. And it's been a one-way ticket away from that. And so the examples I gave today, I used a website as really the first digital layer where it created e-commerce, and we didn't have to meet with our customers all the time. Social web comes after that, and then I described 4 other layers that creates this digital distance between ourselves and our customers.
We view social media as one of the most flexible ways to have an ongoing conversation with our constituents. So to the extent that we think that it is helpful in pursuing that conversation, we judge it to be a success. And we do judge it to be a success.
Being mobile doesn't have to be complicated. Really focus on simplicity and the response you hope to elicit from the user immediately. So whittle down to the core critical thing that your user needs to do with you in a mobile fashion.
So today's message was kind of hammering home the philosophy about what it takes to be a social business. And to me, being a social business is not a business using social media, but more about the processes and the philosophy of empowering your employees to collaborate online and offline a little more streamlined so that it's for the betterment of all.
We get so caught up with social media in the metrics, and although that's very important, I think sometimes what's missing out is the human dynamic factor. Remember, we're all human beings and we all are trying to connect. So social media just provides us unprecedented opportunities through which to do that. And so many people look at the technology instead of what I call the psychology and sociology of what's going on, and lose sight that we're still human beings. And that's what's important and what I wanted people to focus on, because there's so much value in that. And that is why I got into social media, to understand this new way of communication.
I got a lot of great feedback, and I think the takeaway was different for every person, which that's very rewarding in itself. So, for example, there was a lady here from a nonprofit that works with the Humane Society, and so something I said about the game layer resonated with her. So, how could we engage people to create a game where you earn a puppy, or a virtual puppy or something like that? There were other people that were talking about what are the implications for an advertising agency? What are the implications for a B2B company? So I got a lot of great feedback today, and I think the takeaways were different depending on what business they're in.
Yeah, I think, we get so caught up in being politically incorrect, being politically correct. But also, just like not allowing people to have their real voice. And I think that's the biggest innovation today, is not really so much the technology that's available, but that the ability to allow people to be themselves. And that mistakes are going to happen, and people are going to, do something silly. And like, how do you as a business react to that, support them through the process, and then also educate them along the way?
For those CEOs who are, at the moment, not engaged in social media, or their organizations aren't, I think the takeaway should be, don't be afraid, try it. The benefits are worth more than the investment that go into it. For those CEOs whose companies or who personally are already engaged in social media, it should reinforce the decision and perhaps provide some examples and models to follow. We would hope that would be the case. Importantly, social media is here to stay. It's ubiquitous, and we have to be where our constituents are.
As I said in there, we have a generation of people that are myself included many times, that are walking around what I call leaders looking down. Leaders have to be looking up, and whether it's online or offline, looking around, having a vision, having a strategy for your clients, for yourself, for your life. We are attached to this device that we have, and then we almost become disconnected from the world. We're so connected that it becomes almost scary how connected we are. So the connections are key, but what I stress is the magic comes together in real life. It all has to come back to trust. It all has to come back to relationships, because those are tools to bring the relationships together, and that is what a lot of people lose sight of.
They should figure out first how people are going to see them on a Google listing. So, if you're a restaurant, make sure that your phone number comes up in the Google listing. And then when someone gets to your site, what's the call to action? What's the first thing that they're going to do? And focus the site on that. If you're selling a event ticket or a train ticket or what have you, make sure that the form for doing that is easily accessible on mobile, that people can fill it out, that keyboards don't cover the input fields, things like that. Really just focus on the core thing that you have to do.
I'd love to see more HR and recruiting folks come in. I'd love to see more people from the legal department, because I think it's important that social media doesn't impact just the marketing and PR departments. They impact every line of business that there is. And so all of us should be doing more to educate ourselves and figure out what we need to do to participate.
I had a really wise comment on my blog once that I use often at the end of my classes. And someone wrote in, it was a student, and he said, no one can teach you social media. They can teach you the ideas and the strategies and the platforms, but to really know it, you have to do it. You have to immerse yourself in it. No one can teach you how to blog. You have to find your voice. You have to do it. It took me a year to find my voice, really. No one can teach you the rhythm of Twitter and really making those wonderful, amazing personal connections on Twitter. You can't teach that in a class. So I think the most powerful thing you can do is immerse yourself. That's really where the learning takes place.